and welcome. This is Sameena Nalwala and you're watching the F&O Show, where we take stock of the derivative markets. But first up, a quick check on the headlines. Markets trade flat to slightly lower. The Nifty breaches levels of 21,400. Sensex is down over 100 points. Broader markets continue to outperform the benchmark. Most sectoral indices trade in the red, barring oil and gas, pharma, PSU banks and FMCG see some buying. NDTV Profit Newsbreak confirms SpiceJet is keen on bidding for cash-strapped Go First. And Sony says it's not yet agreed to Zee's proposal, as that it is looking forward to hearing Zee's proposals. And around 5,000 passengers stuck in railway station in Tuticorin as heavy rains batter the southern part of Tamil Nadu. Well, those are the top headlines we are tracking at 10:30 a.m. this morning. It is a morning of consolidation, day two when the broader markets outperform. There's pockets of buying, but that's restricted to only a few sectors. Agam is standing by with more on the F&O picture. Agam, quiet morning. This is playing to script.
Yes, it is. It is well, consolidation on the cards, consolidation playing out. When it comes to the Nifty, we're seeing not too much movement. It's been turning out to be another quiet morning as far as indices go. Sure, we're losing about 0.25% on the index, but as far as your open interest change is concerned, we're not looking at too much change. About 2.5% added towards OI and possibly towards fresh shorts. As far as the Bank Nifty is concerned, well, once again, we're not looking at too much weakness, down around 0.4 points, and even as we see an increase of around 2% in open interest. But speaking of the Bank Nifty, a lot of its constituents will also be in focus, considering it is Fin Nifty options expiry. I'll talk about that in just a bit. Let's take a look at the options space and how things are panning out there. So we continue to see a lot more open interest accumulation around 21,500 on the Nifty. At the moment, it's going to turn, it's going to be a little bit of a resistance zone, at least in the near term. And the more time we spend below that mark, the higher chances of the December expiries, well, closing below 21,500. It's something that we're going to have to wait and watch out for. But let's talk about the change. And of course, we're seeing a little more writing around the put side as well. So we have a little bit of balance playing out there. But I want to talk about the Fin Nifty expiry, because that's where all the focus is going to be in today's day of trade. The Nifty, Fin Nifty, of course, the options at the moment were likely seeing a lot more traction around the 21,500 mark. And that's where we should see, we should have an idea of where we are likely to see that options expiry come through. So, of course, we're going to keep an eye on the Fin Nifty as well. But let's talk about stocks then. And, let's talk about all those stocks which are seeing an increase in open interest. And we're looking at longs for Apollo Tyres, Delta Corp, Metropolis, Aarti Industries, and Tata Consumer. And on the flip side, in terms of stocks which are seeing unwinding, we're talking about, longs unwinding in Concor, IRCTC, Nalco, Siemens, and Bata, where there has been a little bit of weakness. But once again, as I was mentioning, all eyes will be on Fin Nifty, and it's something that we're going to keep an eye on today as well.
Thanks, Agam, for that. A few stocks that are definitely worth the mention is SpiceJet. Let's pull that up. It trades at its 52-week high on confirmation that they would be going after Go First. Remember, they've also had a board approval to raise about $270 million to strengthen their balance sheet and, of course, look at acquisitions as well. SpiceJet trading at its 52-week high. A few other names that are looking good in today's trade. So you've got a bunch of counters that are seeing some movement. Tata Consumers is up in about 1.5% gains on that one. Nestle India, the rally doesn't seem to be stopping. It's a large cap, and for a large cap to move the way it is commendable, to say the least. 3.5% gains on Nestle India, playing catch up after the recent sort of strength they've seen across the markets. Apart from that, Apollo Tyres, if you can pull that one up, Warburg Pincus is looking to do a stake sale. The counter will be in focus this morning. Of course, the block deal has taken place. The counter trades with a gain of 1.5%. Devyani on expansion plans in Thailand. The stock had seen a gap up in early hours of trade, got sold into it just a little bit, but still continues to trade in the green, gains with about 5% as we see it. Apart from that, you've got FMCG, like we said, so the likes of Devyani, Nestle, ITC, all are trading in the green. Reliance, third straight day running, trades positive. Not a runaway rally in RIL, but it's worth the mention that despite the market sentiment being slightly more negative, RIL is actually standing out in trade. We have with us Ajit Mishra, Mishra, now Senior VP Research of Religare Broking, joining in, and Jayesh Bhanushali, Research Lead at IIFL Securities. Jayesh, it's been a while since we last spoke. This is Samina Hirani from NDTV Profit. Jayesh, how are you feeling about the markets? After weeks and weeks of gains, the last 2 days have been about consolidation. Are you expecting this consolidation to extend further? And if that is a yes, how would you trade the Nifty?
Yeah. Hi. Good morning, Savannah. Basically, the last time when we had spoken, we had a view that Nifty would be heading towards 21,500, and this is how the markets have played out. So from here on, we are expecting that since we had seen a last leg of a huge short covering happening during the last week, from here on, we see a time consolidation. We don't see any meaningful price consolidation in the markets as the open interest are still intact. We have got 1.46 crore contracts of open positions in Nifty, which is not exuberant. And from here on, we expect that market will consolidate in terms of time. And we see Nifty trading between the support and resistance zone, which is 21,300 as a base and 21,500 as a ceiling. So in this range, we are expecting the Nifty to trade. Hence, even if you see, as Agam mentioned, that we are seeing addition of fresh short positions in both call and put options. So the traders who are short gamma traders, they are in the play today. And we are seeing a huge short gamma positions being created for this current weekly series. Hence, our expectation is that the market would be trading between 21,300 and 21,500 for the next 2-3 days. And there will be a time correction instead of price correction. And eventually, during the later part of the December series, we expect indices to again head higher around 21,500 mark.
Right. Ajit, good morning to you as well. Your view on the benchmarks?
Yeah, good morning, Agam. So, we are seeing a breather after this 7 weeks of sustained up move, and the best part is that the rotational buying across sectors, which helped the index to maintain the positive momentum in the last 7 weeks, is still maintained. So earlier, we were seeing the frontliners, banking, IT, wages helping the index to maintain the momentum, at least in the last leg. And now we are seeing the defenses, which are slightly on the back foot, pharma, FMCG, they have taken the charge and helping the index to cap the damage. So we believe that any dip toward this range in the 21,200 to 250 is area basically where one should look for position longs again. With 22,150 being the stop and 21,500 being the immediate target. And positionally, we are in 22,000 plus zone, in the weeks to come. So overall, the buy and dips is something that we recommend to maintain until we decisively break 20,700 mark on the Nifty. For the banking index also, we are seeing a similar kind of a pattern. Earlier, we were seeing underperformance, but with the recovery in the private banking majors, we expect this breather that we are seeing in the banking index is likely to end soon. 47,400 is the area that we are eyeing as a crucial support zone. So again, it's a buy on dip with 47,400 being the immediate support area, and that should be the stop. And 46,600 to 49,200 is something that we are eyeing.
Right. Jayesh, if you can come in on the Fin Nifty. I know that we usually talk about the Bank Nifty, but today it just so happens it's the weekly options expiry for the Fin Nifty. You've already mentioned that there are more traders who are short gamma at this point in time, which is why the premiums have already dwindled considerably, and we've just passed about the first 1.5 hours. For anyone who wants to perhaps take a position on an intraday basis, considering that today is that weekly options expiry, so by that I mean that zero DTE options, is there any strategy that you can propose at the moment?
Basically, we do have a intraday buy on dips kind of a view for the day. So whenever you see Fin Nifty heading around 21,300-ish levels, this is where one can create a little bit of long positions in Fin Nifty, which would mean that you would either go long on 21,300 call, or if you have an appetite to sell puts, that would be a great option because 21,200, 21,100 would be expiring worthless. This is what our base case assumption is for today. So 21,500 would be the utmost resistance. We don't see it heading above 21,500, but at lower levels of 21,300, one could create intraday longs or sell puts.
Right. Stay with us, gentlemen. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and continue our conversation, take up some stock-specific ideas as well from our guest.
Welcome back to the F&O Show. We are taking stock of what's going on in the derivative space, and let's talk a little bit more about the bank nifty as well, where we have, in fact, for the past couple of days, starting to see a little bit more unwinding coming through. It's not the case today, but overall, your index futures have certainly started seeing a little bit more, declines in open interest. Pardon me. Ajit, if you can come in on this one, how are you reading these cues on the bank nifty, not necessarily just in the index futures, but also in the option space?
In the entire move, we were largely in tandem with the index for the banking part also. Earlier, we were seeing the phase of underperformance, and after this testing of 48,200 mark in the last two sessions, like yesterday, it was the day of underperformance. Today, we are also seeing a similar move. But the kind of price pattern that we have in the private banking measures, specifically Axis, ICICI, SDFC, that gives us comfort. The downside seems capped based on the technical parameters. And as for the option parameters, also I don't see the stock, the index drifting strongly below this 47,400 mark. So that's the area basically where we are maintaining our stops for the long position. And upside, as we have recommended, that 48,600 to 49,200 is something that we are eyeing.
Jayesh, I want to talk to you about a few stocks, one of them being Nestle and the other being Reliance Industries. Nestle, of course, the rally is obvious and the moves are pretty sharp. Any sort of long calls or trading calls on either Nestle or Reliance Industries?
If you see, surprisingly, we have seen Nestle moving 3.5% today. And if you see, there is humongous amount of longs being created in futures market. The open interest is now starting to pick up, and even if you see technically, there is a strong technical breakout that is happening about 25,000. So from here on, there is a very good chance that the stock might be heading as high as 27,000 during the entire December series. So for next 8-10 trading sessions, we are expecting another 4-5% upside in Nestle, which would be there is a very high probability that this could be heading up to 26,500, 27,000.
Right. Okay. And with that, we'll also take our picks from our experts. Ajit, coming to you, I believe at least one of your picks is Voltas. And it's starting to already move. Can you take us through that one as well as Granules, please?
Yes, certainly. See, both stocks, Agam, we have selected based on the price action that we are seeing. So Voltas, to start with, the stock after underperforming for several months, we have seen a very strong base formation around 750 to 890 area. And now we are seeing the short-term reversal. There is a possibility of in fact a short-term reversal also. As of now, we are just trading in that range itself, wherein 910, 920 is going to be the immediate target area. So 870 should be the stop. In case if you're planning any fresh trade at the current levels, and 910, 920 being the immediate target. Granules, as we were discussing about the sector rotation and now pharma taking the front seat. So among the pharma majors and mid-cap basket, Granules is one such name that has been consistently performing well after testing its long-term averages around 280 area on the weekly chart, and it has almost reached to its multi-year high zone. So we expect this momentum to extend further. Short term, 420 is going to be the area where it might take a breather. But broadly, we are anticipating 450 to 460 levels in days to come. So in Granules, also one can accumulate at current levels with 388 as stop.
Jayesh, what about you? What are your topics today?
So we have got two topics. First would be Info Edge, which is Naukri. So the stock is currently trading around 5,220-ish levels, and if you see the long-term charts, the stock has already given a huge inverse head and shoulder breakout. And even in derivative terms, if you see the out-of-the-money call options, the action is now being shifted to 5,500 calls. So which is where the immediate ceiling for the stock would be, and this is 300 points away from where it is currently trading. So from here on, we are expecting a 4-5% upside in this stock for the December series on account of huge longs being created. And second stock that we have is another internet-based stock, which is IndiaMart Intermesh. So if you see, the stock has given a rounding bottom breakout. And if you see the price action, the average deal size, which is the total trading divided by number of people who have bought the stock, has gone up significantly during the last 10-15 days. And if you compare it with last 6 months average, it is significantly higher, which is showing that there is institution buying happening in the stock, and stronger hands are gaining more control. So from here on, we are expecting IndiaMart Intermesh to head higher up to at least 2,300, 2,400 levels during the next 10-15 days.
Right. So those are two stock ideas coming in from Jayesh. So we did want to address Reliance Industries as well, and I'm going to take this up with Ajit. What's really happening with Reliance Industries is that it's currently trading at around 2,540 odd levels. Should we see more strength, it could break above its August 14th high, and that's where it's made a high of around 2,580 odd levels. Before that, it's gone all the way to well over 2,600 rupees per share. The question, well, we're not too far away from these levels. The question is, can we expect Reliance to in fact move about these crucial marks, crucial levels? Ajit, what's your view here? We're looking at a little bit of reversal, an upward move in the short term, an upward trend. Would you be bullish on Reliance, or do you think that it could potentially get into a resistance zone?
So Agam, that's right that we are again inching towards its record high zone, and the last we were entered in August 2023, and but of late in the last 3-4 trading session, if you have noticed that the cash volume has increased on the rising day, means the kind of participation that it should show in case if it's making an serious attempt of trend reversal or trend resumption, then the volume should also accompany. So as of now, it looks okay, means we can retest the record highs, but making a sustained up move seems difficult until we see the volume also sitting in line with the price action. So as of now, we feel that any level close to around 2570, 2580, traders, those who are holding long, they should book profit at least, and let the stock stabilize about 2600 mark for fresh entry, or any dip towards 2500 levels again to look for fresh longs. In between, it might consolidate again broadly in this range.
So sell at levels of 2570, 2580 if you've got long positions on RIL, and wait for a break about 2600 to initiate fresh longs. That's the word coming in on Reliance Industries. But with that, we're running out of time. But before we wrap the show up, here is RBZ Jewelers Management talking about their IPO expectations and more. Listen in.
Majorly, we are a manufacturer, a B2B wholesale player, and we have a retail established showroom in Ahmedabad as well. So on the wholesale and the job work side, we supply or manufacture our antique gold jewelry to major retailers across the country and all the corporates of pan-India corporates. When it comes to the organized manufacturing, I think we are one of the most preferred player. There is the strength of the company is basically to have an in-house manufacturing capability, and I can say that the 4 pillars of companies are: they have a strong design team, which are professional designers. There's a quality control department, which is we are very vigilant in that, and there's an in-house laboratory for fire assay. Also, there is in-house karigars and modern machineries. So I think this 4 pillars of makes RBZ wholesale division a very robust one. When it comes to retail, we have our 11,000 square feet retail presence in Ahmedabad, and I think it's one of the most established and a leading player. We are one of the leading player in Ahmedabad for that matter.
So Harit, can you give us a sense of you're raising 100 crores. What is this 100 crores going to be used for?
So majorly the funds are going to be used for working capital purpose. So this will create more product. We'll have an expansion of our product portfolio. That is how we will have more customers. We will offer more customers more wider range of jewelry. Now, as a B2B division, when you offer more jewelry, you are bound to get a substantial number of orders because the design portfolio is vast. And at the same time, a little that portion, I think the working capital is the need of the hour right now in the company, and the utilization in in establishing the right kind of a product portfolio and gaining orders and getting the right kind of return on investment would be the key. So yes, the funds will be deployed on working capital purpose.
So if I look at your revenue mix, which is today, you're roughly around 43% or so comes out of wholesale, 41 from retail, and job work is around 3.7%. So is the endeavor to increase the wholesale portfolio going forward, or you will be focusing on retail as well?
So Sajid, if you really want to understand RBZ's business, it is more stronger if you understand it by volumes. Now, when you go down to volumes, you will see that 50-55% of the business comes, like 600 kg is the volume that RBZ has done through job work, and rest, among the 1059 kg, and rest is done by wholesale and retail mix. So in that sense, I can tell you that yes, when you look at the the company with its business model does a total volume of around 1059 kgs, which values is around 550 crores. With that value, with that volume, we have a bottom line of around 22.33 crores. So in this sense, the whole synergy is not about retail, wholesale and job work. The synergy would be actually just two. There is a retail and there is a wholesale. In wholesale, there are people who are giving us advance money because of our strength. Now that is getting converted into job work. So in this case, there are only two synergies that are there as a business. One is retail part and one is the wholesale part. Now the money is getting deployed into the wholesale and the job work segment, or the wholesale as a synergy. So yes, I think I have answered the question then.